We are on page 4 in your reading workbook. Read the passage, then answer questions 8 through 13. Tiny houses. Have you heard of the tiny house movement? No, it doesn't have anything to do with hobbits or munchkins. It is a trend in which people have chosen to downsize the space they live in. Some have chosen this lifestyle out of financial necessity. Others just want to live a simpler life. What is a tiny house? Just how small are these diminutive dwellings? A typical tiny house is usually 100 to 400 square feet, whereas an average size house is about 2,000 square feet. Tiny houses can be on wheels or on a foundation. They can be parked on land with a larger house or on their own lot. Some tiny homes are designed and constructed by the owner, while others are built from a kit or adapted from a trailer. What are the benefits of living in a small space? Well, there are many merits to living in a tiny house. The biggest advantage is financial. Most Americans today dedicate about 1/3 to 1/2 of their income to pay for mortgage or rent. To top it off, people work harder and harder to get bigger and bigger houses and to fill them with more and more stuff. As a result, according to one source, 75% of Americans are living from paycheck to paycheck. On the other hand, the cost of an average tiny home is between $10,000 and $40,000, and the cost of upkeep for the tiny house is comparatively low. Another reason people want to downsize their living space is to shrink their carbon footprint. By living in a tiny house, a person produces less waste and uses less energy than he or she would in a regular house. An energy-efficient tiny home can save a bundle on utilities such as electricity and gas. Others just want to simplify their lives by shedding most of their material possessions and by living an unencumbered lifestyle. Many just want to focus on their hopes and dreams and what they think is important. Although the tiny home movement at first appeared to be a fad, it continues to grow. Today, tiny homes are sprouting up all over the place across the United States. I have actually seen these on Facebook. I saw a program for veterans that also talked about using these for homeless people. So this is one that I have actually seen on television and on social media. Okay, question 8 is a little bit different than the questions we have seen to this point. And I want to tell you about this if you are taking the TABE test. On these Part A, Part B questions, you have to get Part A right to count Part B. So if you miss Part A on the TABE and you get Part B right, you do not get credit for the question. So I am encouraging you to pay very close attention to Part A. Make sure you do the best you can to get that one right. So let's take a look at this first one. Again, it says to read the sentence. Have you heard of the tiny house movement? Now, I know that the root of movement is move. If you look at that root word, you have move and then ment is your suffix, movement. And in most cases, move means to shift position. It means to go from one position to another or one location to another, but it can mean other things too. So let's take a look here. What is the meaning of movement as it is used in this sentence? A is a change or the support for a change by a growing number of people. B, the process of moving from one place to another. C, a violent passion or desire. Or D, the act of exchanging one thing for another. Well, in this case, we're talking about the support for tiny houses. More and more people are saying this is a good idea. So in part A, the answer is A. Part B, which piece of text evidence best supports your answer to part A? So you see how I have to get part A right, or part B is going to be impossible. So my choices are A, and notice they're quoting directly from the passage, so they're using quotation marks, as they should be. No, it doesn't have anything to do with hobbits or munchkins. It is a trend in which people have chosen to downsize the space they live in. Some have chosen this lifestyle out of financial necessity, or others just want to have a simpler life. Well, if you're talking about a growing number of people supporting something, that is a trend. There's the clue that I'm looking for. A trend is a synonym for movement. It means the same thing as movement. So in part B, your answer is B. People are supporting this idea more and more, and that is a trend. Okay, number 9. Just how small are these diminutive dwellings? Well, we know they're small, so small and diminutive seem to be synonyms for each other. What is the meaning of diminutive as it is used in this sentence? Massive. That means very, very big. Appealing means something that people really like. Exciting means there's some thrill involved. And miniature means very small. Notice that one fits with those other two as a synonym. Diminutive means very, very small. Tiny. So I want answer D. We are looking for synonyms in this passage. A typical tiny house is usually 100 to 400 square feet, whereas an average-sized house is about 2,000 square feet. Which word has the same meaning as typical? Synonym for typical. When I read this passage, it says a typical tiny house is usually, that's a clue, that we're talking about the normal. That's what I'm thinking when I'm reading that. The normal tiny house, or the most common tiny house. So we have unique, which would be an antonym for normal. Popular, that means appealing. Average, normal, typical, average, usual, that's the one I'm looking for. Familiar means common, I'm used to it. That's kind of sort of one, but average is the one that we're looking for. The usual tiny house. Also, in this sentence, average sized, even though this is talking about a bigger house, the concept of it being the norm is used in there. So you could even look at that as being a clue to your answer. Number 11. Others just want to simplify their lives by shedding most of their material possessions and by living an unencumbered lifestyle. So let me ask you something. If you got rid of all your stuff, all your possessions, if you just want to simplify life, what is that saying to you? You don't want to have a lot of responsibility. You don't want to have to keep things up. You don't want to have to do a lot of work to maintain things. Unencumbered. What is the meaning of unencumbered as it is used in this sentence? I also want to show you something here that will help you. Let's break this down into its prefix. Actually, the root is cumber. So you really have two prefixes. But let's just keep it right here because I want you to focus on the un. Un means not. That's what that prefix means. So let's look at our choices. Look at A. What is the meaning of unencumbered as it is used in this sentence? Not. You see that? The prefix un means not, and there's the word not. So I'm going to pay really close attention to A. Not weighed down by burdens. Free from a mortgage. Poor and sparse. Single or unmarried. Not married. A's the one I'm looking at because it means not weighed down. Cumber means weigh. So this one relates to that skill of using roots. Not weighed down. Unencumbered. That's a good word. Okay, number 12. Well, there are many merits to living in a tiny house. Merits. What is the meaning of merits as it is used in this sentence? Guarantees. Those are promises. Pluses. Those are benefits. Deceptions. Those are lies. And truths are not lies. Those are truths. So which one of these fits? There are many promises, benefits, lies, or truths to living in a tiny house. There are many benefits. There are many pluses to living in a tiny house. This is sounding better and better to me, to live in a tiny house. So number 12, part A, you want answer B. Which two pieces of text evidence best support your answer to part A? Please, please pay attention there. Because if you just give me one, you've already missed option B. We need to pick two of them. What are the benefits of living in a small space? The biggest advantage is financial. Most Americans today dedicate about 1/3 to 1/2 of their income to paying their mortgage or rent. To top it off, people work harder and harder to get bigger and bigger houses and to fill them with more and more stuff. So which of these two supports my choice of plus up there? Well, again, I'm looking for synonyms. One synonym of the word plus is benefits, and one is advantage. Advantage, pluses, benefits, merits, they all mean the same thing. So for part B, I want to choose both A and B. It asked me for two supporting details. So to get full credit on this question, I would have to get part A right and then part B with both answers. Okay, last but not least, an energy-efficient tiny home can save a bundle on utilities such as electricity and gas. Here's the clue. Save a bundle. If you're saving, what are you saving? You're saving money. So this sentence relates to money on electricity and gas. What is the meaning of bundle as it is used in this sentence? A group of things fastened together, like a bundle of carrots tied up with a piece of string. A group of things that are associated with each other. A gift or contribution, or a sizable amount of money. If it's talking about saving money, I'm interested in a sizable amount, saving a lot of money. So a synonym for bundle would be lots, sizable amount, a large amount of money, bundle. Okay, I hope this has helped you with context clues, with using, remember, all of those skills that we learned, and I don't know why I keep going back to this same thing. I tell you what, let me close it, and then I won't go back to it again. These 6 skills are what we have practiced in this lesson. So practice 1 will help you develop your context clues skills. All right, I'll see you in the next video and we'll learn all about a new skill. Have a good day.